The morning sun had barely stretched its golden fingers across Manhattan when the lights inside the Live with Kelly&Mark studio flickered on with a special kind of electricity. This wasn't just another weekday broadcast, another cheerful cup of coffee shared with America. This was the After the Oscars show, that glitter-dusted, sleep-deprived, joyfully chaotic morning when Hollywood's biggest night spills straight into daytime television, and anything can happen. Kelly Ripa walked onto the set with the unmistakable glow of someone who had stayed up far too late and loved every second of it. Draped in a chic but slightly rumpled post-Oscars outfit, equal parts glamour and relatability, she laughed before the cameras even started rolling. Beside her, Mark Consuelos looked effortlessly energized, as if surviving the Oscars and an after-party marathon was merely a warm-up for his real performance, bantering with his wife on live TV. "Good morning, everybody," Kelly announced, her voice buzzing with excitement. Or should I say, good afternoon? Good evening? We don't even know anymore. The audience erupted into laughter and applause. They were in on the joke. The After the Oscars show was a beloved tradition precisely because it embraced the absurdity of it all: the late night, the sore feet, the champagne haze, and the irresistible urge to overshare. Mark leaned into his mug and grinned. "If you're wondering why Kelly and I look like glamorous zombies, it's because we just survived the Super Bowl of show business." This year's Oscars had delivered everything fans could want: emotional acceptance speeches, surprise wins, fashion risks that paid off, and some that definitely didn't. And Live with Kelly&Mark was ready to unpack it all, with the kind of warmth and humor only they could bring. Kelly wasted no time diving in. "Let's talk about the red carpet," she said, eyes lighting up. "Because I have opinions, strong opinions." Mark raised an eyebrow. She didn't sleep because she was replaying the outfits in her head. The show rolled into a highlight reel of the night's most talked about looks, and Kelly reacted in real time, gasping, applauding, mock clutching her pearls. She praised daring silhouettes, celebrated timeless elegance, and gently teased a few questionable fashion choices, all with that signature Kelly Ripa sparkle that felt more like chatting with a best friend than watching a TV host. What made the After the Oscars episode special wasn't just the commentary, it was the intimacy. Kelly&Mark pulled viewers behind the velvet ropes, sharing personal moments from their own Oscars experience. Kelly described the surreal feeling of sitting just a few rows away from legends she'd grown up watching, while Mark confessed to the internal panic of navigating a room full of A-listers without spilling anything on his tux. "There's nothing more stressful than holding a drink in a crowded room where everyone is wearing couture," Mark admitted. "One wrong move and you're a headline." Kelly nodded, "and not the good kind." As the show continued, the studio buzzed with laughter, applause, and that unmistakable sense of shared celebration. The audience could feel it. This wasn't polished perfection. This was real, joyful exhaustion, the kind that comes from witnessing something magical and wanting to relive it with people you trust. One of the most anticipated segments of the morning was the return of the infamous Oscars after-party stories. Kelly leaned forward, lowering her voice conspiratorially. "Okay, so I ran into someone in the bathroom." Mark immediately cut in. "She always meets the most famous people in the bathroom. And they're always lovely," Kelly added. "But there is something deeply humbling about complimenting an Oscar winner while you're both washing your hands." The audience roared. Between laughs, the couple took a moment to reflect on the emotional weight of the night. Kelly spoke sincerely about the power of acceptance speeches that honored resilience, creativity, and second chances. "There's something incredibly moving about watching people stand on that stage and talk about years of rejection," she said. "It reminds you that success isn't overnight, it's over time." Mark nodded, his tone softening. "That's why nights like this matter. They celebrate art, but they also celebrate perseverance." The After the Oscars show has always been about balance, glamour and grounding, humor and heart. And this year, Live with Kelly&Mark delivered that balance beautifully. As the broadcast rolled on, surprise guests popped in, still glowing from the night before. Some carried their Oscar statuettes with a mix of pride and disbelief. Others showed up with coffee in hand and stories spilling out faster than they could keep up. Kelly&Mark welcomed each guest like family, offering hugs, jokes, and genuine curiosity. "You can always tell when someone hasn't slept," Kelly joked to one guest. "They're either euphoric or completely delirious." Mark added, "Sometimes both." One particularly touching moment came when Kelly addressed the audience directly, thanking them for tuning in year after year. "We know you could be sleeping in," she said with a smile, "but you choose to spend your morning with us, and that means everything." That connection between hosts and viewers was the true magic of the After the Oscars show. It wasn't just about Hollywood. It was about sharing a moment, laughing together, and starting the day with a sense of joy. As the episode began to wind down, Kelly sighed dramatically. I could do this all day, but unfortunately, our bodies are begging us to stop. Mark chuckled. There will be naps, glorious naps. The final moments of the show were filled with warmth and gratitude. Kelly and Mark clinked their coffee mugs together in a playful toast to the Oscars, to storytelling, to hard work, and to the simple pleasure of waking up and laughing together. From the bottom of our very tired hearts, Kelly said, smiling at Mark, "Thank you for joining us for our After the Oscars show." Mark wrapped an arm around her. "Same time next year?" Kelly grinned. "Absolutely. But first, sleep." As the cameras faded out and the applause echoed through the studio, one thing was clear. Live with Kelly and Mark had once again turned Hollywood's biggest night into a morning that felt personal, joyful, and unforgettable. And for viewers at home, it wasn't just a recap, it was a celebration they were lucky enough to be part of. As the applause faded and the familiar live theme music played them out, the energy in the studio didn't disappear, it simply shifted. Off camera, Kelly and Mark remained exactly as they were on screen, animated, laughing, and still very much riding the high of the night before. Crew members moved efficiently around them, but there was an unmistakable buzz in the air, the kind that only happens after a truly special show. Kelly slipped off her heels almost immediately, holding them up triumphantly. "These shoes have been through something," she declared, drawing another round of laughter from the staff. Mark shook his head affectionately. "You wore them on the red carpet, through 3 after-parties and a live television show. They deserve their own standing ovation." Backstage monitors replayed moments from the broadcast, the fashion reactions, the candid laughter, the heartfelt reflections, and it was clear the After the Oscars show had struck a chord. Social media was already lighting up with clips, memes, and comments praising the couple's chemistry and their effortless ability to make Hollywood feel human. "This is my favorite show of the year," Kelly admitted quietly as she scrolled through her phone. "Everyone's a little looser, a little more honest." Mark nodded. "It's like the morning after a big family wedding. Everyone's exhausted, but no one wants it to end." That feeling extended far beyond the studio walls. Viewers at home had tuned in not just for a recap of the Oscars, but for comfort, for laughter, for connection, for the sense that even the most glamorous night in the world eventually gives way to sweatpants, coffee, and shared stories. Kelly and Mark understood that instinctively. It was why the show worked, and why moments like this resonated so deeply. As producers gathered to congratulate them, Kelly took a moment to reflect on how far the show had come. The After the Oscars tradition had evolved over the years, but its heart remained the same, celebrating creativity without pretense. "We don't need to be experts," Kelly said thoughtfully. "We just need to be curious." That curiosity, about people, about stories, about what happens behind the scenes, had become the show's signature. Whether they were interviewing an Oscar winner still in disbelief or poking fun at their own late-night survival tactics, Kelly and Mark invited viewers into the conversation, never talking at them, always talking with them. Before heading out, the couple paused on the now quiet set. The chairs were empty, the lights dimmed, but the echoes of laughter still seemed to linger. "Same time next year," Mark repeated softly. Kelly smiled, already imagining it. The gowns, the speeches, the chaos, the joy. "Absolutely. But next year," she added, "I'm bringing sneakers." Mark laughed. "Now that would really break the internet." As they walked off together, arm in arm, the After the Oscars show officially became another cherished memory in the ever-growing story of life with Kelly and Mark. A reminder that while Hollywood may shine brightest at night, sometimes its most genuine moments happen the morning after, over coffee, shared exhaustion, and a whole lot of heart.